This Pokemon Crystal cartridge is looking like an absolute 10 from both the front and the back, but as they say, looks aren't everything. So let's boot her up and see if there's a dead save battery. No save file here, but that's no problem. Let's just open this thing up and replace the internal battery. And I'm using a 3.8 millimeter security bit. But anyway, let's get this thing open. And before we actually swap out the internal battery, let's go ahead and whip out that handy dandy multimeter here and just see how much juice is left in there. And yep, absolutely nothing. This thing is drier than my mouth after eating a whole bag of saltine crackers. So let's not waste any time and let's replace this internal battery here. So I've got this Chipquik Flux that works absolute wonders here. So let's apply it to both sides of the battery here. Let's whip out that soldering iron and some tweezers and let's just yank this battery right out of there very carefully like that. So I'm just going to be a little bit extra here and wick up the solder here. You know, if you wanted to be lazy, you could just put the battery in the existing solder here, but I just want to be extra clean. So let's wipe up all this nasty earwax looking flux residue with some 99% IPA before we ultimately put in a fresh, new, juicy, beautiful CR 2025 internal save battery. And I'll have links for everything in the description. So what I'm doing here is aligning the proper battery terminals with the positive side on the battery to the positive indicator on the board here. And so now I am heating both the battery tab and the solder pad on the motherboard here to ensure a nice fresh blob of solder applied to the board. And then I repeat the process on the other side here. So now it's looking pretty flawless if you ask me. So the next step here is to, again, get that 99% IPA. So I'm starting with the gold contact pins here just to make sure that there's a very secure connection. And then, you know, cleaning all the board and all of that flux residue. And when I'm cleaning the outside of the shell, I avoid the sticker because that can cause some liquid damage and some issues on the sticker here. So I really want to preserve that. But every other part of the inside and outside of this Pokemon Crystal game cartridge gets cleaned. Because like I said, we want this thing to be a 10 on the inside and out. So let's get this thing reassembled really quick and make sure that the save file indeed does work. Looks like it does, so my job here is done. If you want to snag this game or other Pokemon games, Game Boys, or mods, check out my store at vetrogaming.com. Subscribe and see you next time.